Good afternoon, everyone. It's the long weekend, which means I get to game for an extra day today. So, why not play the Long Dark? So we'll hop into the game. Nothing's changed this week. There's supposed to be a hotfix coming out on Wednesday, but no announcements of major changes. What's the worst that can happen? Indeed. Resume. 14 days in. Now, you may recall from when we were here last, we are currently stranded on top of the mountain. By stranded, I mean up here deliberately. We got enough fire to last until morning, and actually something I've been curious about. Hours indoors, 256. I'm curious to see if we're actually indoors or outdoors. So 256 hours right now. So, let's take snooze. 4 hours should be okay. Because if the plane actually counts as being an exterior location, I'm tempted to... Oh, we still have a lot of fire left. Yep, 256. I'm tempted to actually try for the... What the heck was that? Oh wow, we're really thirsty. Since we're up here anyways, I'm very tempted to try for the achievement survive 3 days outside. Because we are currently outside. So, why not try for the achievement?
Oh, I need my food.
Yes, which is why we will eat, which is unfortunately not something you can do in the fire menu yet. Boil everything. Yeah, what we can do is we can harvest enough wood because we need to make 2 12-hour fires. So if we can harvest enough wood to keep the fire going, then we can easily stay up here for 3 whole days and then get the achievement. Oh wow, we just froze. Great. I hear the fire is still going, so...
Too cold.
Cool, our fire is still going. If I can get back to it. Barely any time left. Rest for an hour. Get some of our, strength back. And by strength I mean so we're not freezing cold. I'm just going to turn this convenient cargo container into... Oh, hey. Might be able to get some better clothes while we're up here too. I'm going to empty everything out of this container and I'm just going to use it to store firewood. Now the only question is, do we try to keep the fire going through for the entire day? Decent thermal. Wool is better than thermal. So yeah, that's the only question right now, is do we try to keep this going for the day? Just gotta remember to keep eating while I'm up here. See what else is in this container. Well, these containers should have MREs. Which, we find some MREs that will take care of our... Actually, I should be picking up all of these to put into my container with the firewood. Yoink. Whoa. How the heck did I get 7? Oops. No! I only wanted to transfer 2. Or 5 of them. Now, where on earth did tinder plugs go? Oh, I only have 2 plugs. What's that then? Feels like -8. We'll let the fire go out. So I think we should be okay without it. Although the fire's still lit after we harvest some more stuff up here, so be it. We'll keep it going. So cold. Yep, fire's definitely gone out.
Starting to feel numb.
Gotta remember to keep eating. Only want to deal with one problem at a time. Oops. At risk of hypothermia. Shoot.
Damn. Crazy.
Now, what I would love is to be able to interact with a burnt out campfire in order to get it lit again. Because what's going to happen is I'm going to need to light a fire near or on top of this one. Feels like -6. Well, I guess that that's the answer to that question. I have to keep the fire going during the day or else I'm just gonna freeze. On the bright side, there's plenty of wood around. Oh, but not all of it is interactable. Grow feather. Oh, that's nice. One of the graphical upgrades must have been to crow feathers, because the... And there's a corpse over there too. Let's go see what this poor fellow was doing, then we'll harvest another branch and then relight our fire. Because what happens is, used fires don't go away, or at least they don't go away quickly. So what tends to happen is you get like a whole series of fires.
This stuff will come in handy.
Ah, it's actually a really nice knife. Wait, what? Interesting. Because I never interacted with this fellow before, or at least I don't recall. Interesting. 1 hour, we should be okay. And then we gotta get back and light a fire so we don't get hypothermic.
I need anything right now.
What? Gotta get back inside and light a fire. Because the problem is, now I've got to light my fire inside here with, gotta light my fire inside here. But you can see it's going to be sitting on top of the other one. So it's like, that looks kind of silly. Good thing we were doing this wood chopping while before that wind came up. Okay, get this fire going. we are no longer freezing to death. See, what's going to happen is every time I click on my fire, it's going to want to go to the burnt out one. While we're up here, let's melt some snow, because that will give me significantly less numb. Eat something before I forget. I'm up here surviving in the tail section of a plane, surviving on salty crackers and melted snow. Let's drink some water before I forget completely. Add some more fuel to that fire so that it stays lit. And stash that in there. And let's get rid of my clothing that is all worn out that I don't need anymore. No sense carrying it if I'm not going to use it. Yeah, come nightfall, I think what I'm going to do is just loot the plane and then sleep periodically. As we look around for more fur. I'd prefer fur over cedar, because fur is going to burn longer. You're fine. Need to make some more tinder plugs while we're at it, so we'll gather sticks for tinder plugs. That's cedar. That's cedar. Shoot. Maybe one of these is fur. Cedar. Cedar. Now someone on the forum mentioned how I could tell cedar apart from fir, but I'll be honest, I've never really figured it out. They all look pretty much the same to me. It's like, you'd think one of these would be fir. No. We'll hack this one down, that'll probably get us really cold. That's okay, because we got...
God, I've never felt so cold in my life.
So we've got, you can see the little glow in the tail section of the plane. If I was really crazy, I'd light a fire out here and just keep harvesting beside the fire, but... Risk a hypothermia. That's okay, that's why we have... Oh! That's fur. Interesting.
Things are starting to look pretty grim.
Ah, you got a huge fire and you're sitting in the tail section of a plane. You're fine. Although we should probably nap for an hour, but first let's see if we can get some more food. Good. We'll move these MREs to the container over here, so we can stay nice and toasty while we're searching the cargo container. And let's just put pretty much everything except maybe one box of crackers. Eat some MREs, cross our fingers that we don't get food poisoning. And meets all the technical standards of food. Rest for an hour. And then hopefully it'll get warmer up here, because you'll notice the summit of the mountain is very, very cold. It is cold out there. But we'll spend, should be enough daylight left to hack apart another one of these limbs, run back inside, and then hack apart another one. And this is why an axe is useful. I'm not actually freezing to death yet, so... Okay, now I'm freezing to death. Shoot. Get back to the chopper. Or in this case, plane. So we're gonna go from...
Ooh. I'm not sure I'm gonna make it.
Huh, I can actually feel the fire through the wall of the skin of the plane. That's interesting. Good thing I put so much fuel on the fire before I came back inside. So that's 8 hours of fire. Warming up nicely. Rest for an hour. Then while we're once we've rested an hour, depending on the weather, we can either try to go outside. So we can see what we're doing, we can go outside. I can just barely make things out. Because I'd like a little bit more firewood, so we can spend a lot of time inside. Tomorrow we won't have, and we can just go back to exploring as opposed to constantly needing to find firewood. So there's 10 hours of darkness left. Means we need 10 hours on our fire. Means I need to go back outside and chop down another limb. That's a lot of chopping in order to get through the night. Okay. Have something to drink. Fish out another one of our MREs and dance with food poisoning. Temporary MRE, good quality, and meets all technical requirements to be considered real food. Now I can still just barely see where I'm going. So I don't really want to take a brand, because if I start taking brands, what's going to happen is my fire is going to go out quicker. I can just barely make out the outlines on the snow. Oh, yeah, I can just barely see where I'm going right now. So yeah, the funny thing is, despite this being a metal wall, I can actually feel my fire through it. Unknown amount of darkness left. That's weird. Doesn't look too bad outside. It's quite cold though. 50 Celsius. Hey, so this was real life. I would be boiling alive right now. I will take those matches. let's actually... Yeah, let's get a good 7 hours of sleep. Get some of our condition back. Oh, we actually made... We have survived 16 days. We still have 5 hours of fire left. Interesting. Eat the rest of our MRE. Yeah, we're actually doing... We're in suspiciously good condition right now, despite the fact we should be burning alive from being so close to that fire. That knife we picked up is actually worse than the one we already found. Let's drop that back in here. This time I think I am going to want to keep this fire going all through the day. So let's see if we can get some more limbs so that we can keep our fire going. It's cold up here on the mountain. Ah, limbs. Make for an interesting intro. Ah! So we've got our achievement, Beneath the Starry Sky. So the Beneath the Starry Sky achievement is surviving outside for 3 consecutive nights. Success. On Stalker mode, too. So actually, rest for an hour, because resting will, beside the fire, will warm us up really nice and fast. Woke up fully rested. Okay. Now, should be enough to melt a good 4 liters of water. It'd be really cool if the amount of time it took snow to melt was dependent on how hot your fire was. Which it actually may be. Because 4 liters of water should have taken you a lot longer than that to actually melt. Okay, continuing with our put everything we need into this container. And loot the plane. It'd be nice to find...
Probably useful.
Be nice to find some coffee, actually. Although I am a sucker for soda. Although we can put we'll take the best quality, we'll leave the 2 middle qualities. And since we're doing so well and we just got an achievement, let's have a soda to celebrate. Yeah, the actual text of the achievement is, Beneath the Starry Sky, survived 3 consecutive nights outside in a single game. So I guess some of the caves that we were sheltering in also counted as exterior locations. What I'm hoping for now is we don't need a gun, because we found a gun already. What I'm hoping for now is clothing. Is a clothing container, because we really need better clothing. Now this storm lantern probably has more fuel than our current one. Because it would also be nice to find kerosene up here. But kerosene is not something they transport by plane. I will take all the soda. So yeah, it's so far quite nice up here. Ah, coffee. Always good to have a pot of coffee. Ah, we will be... Oops. Now, I don't need all these hides, but I definitely need some of them, because you can see I'm still wearing my commercial clothing. So we'll be able to use some of these hides in here to start making the homemade variant of the clothing. Which is good, because in the long run it'll be easier to keep it maintained. Now our knife's already at 100%. I'm actually tempted to take a heavy hammer, because you could use the heavy hammer to bust up all these crates and whatnot. I was really hoping to find a whetstone, but can't have everything.
Best be prepared for anything.
Goodbye, cruel world! Gaming behavior that is discouraged by having a permanent death. So even though we won't be taking the gun, we will definitely take all the ammunition.
I'll take it.
And that rifle's actually in way worse condition than the one we found earlier. Actually, depending on... we are running low on antiseptic. Bandage? Oh, good. Drugs! Okay. Move this back to our... I thought that's something I can interact with. Start using this cargo container because the other one's getting pretty full. So we need a half liter of antiseptic. Actually, we don't really need antiseptic because we have the old man's beard bandages. And we'll put half of these. Actually, just in case we do get parasites, we'll keep all the antibiotics and we'll keep all the painkillers as well. And put away some of the soda. The reason I'm trying to basically drink my way through all the low condition stuff is on the off chance that we get food poisoning up here, we've got plenty of supplies to wait it out as it passes. Which is not necessarily the case if we get sick at the base of the hill. Or mountain, I guess I should say. Fortunately, I still haven't found my clothing container.
This stuff will come in handy.
Crackers and moldy peanut butter. We'll be consolidating this as well. Because since everything's in a container in an exterior location, ooh, more coffee. Herbal tea? Herbal tea. Yes, herbal tea. And we're overweight. Since this is an exterior location, we can keep a lot of this stuff up here without worrying about it going bad. Oh, I'm starting to get cold again. So much coffee. leave 20 cups up there. Oh, we're not that cold. It's only -3. Yes, unfortunately nothing I really need. Although, see, the hammer can be repaired with... Actually, let's grab a hammer and see what we have to do to repair it. Still missing the old menus. So to repair it, you just basically need fir firewood. So as long as you have fir firewood, you can repair it indefinitely, which is awesome. So at the end of the day, we'll probably grab one of these hammers and bring it down the mountain. So you can use the hammers to break up boxes, and clear ice fishing holes. And since all you need to do is periodically basically craft a new handle for it, it's going to last much better than using a hatchet or using a hacksaw. Ah, that's what I was looking for.
Man,
We'll just
I
take
shouldn't carry
all
much
this
more.
clothing and then sort out what's actually good when we're back at the fire. So hopefully we find some boots as well. So then I don't have to worry about repairing my busted ones.
This pack is getting too heavy to carry.
It's fine. How much am I carrying anyways? 50 kilos. Yep, just wandering around with 100 pounds of gear. No problem. Can you put 50 kilos in here? Nope, that's not gonna happen. What's on this side? Okay, so that's where I'm putting my junk clothing. So let's see here. Gloves are worse. Change to a better pair of pants. Change to a better sweater. Change to a better pair of boots. Way better coat. And a better pair of socks. Now everything we don't need can get stored safely in here. And in theory, it shouldn't decay too badly. Okay. So far, so good. Our fire's still got lots of time left on it. We actually have 8 hours of daylight left. Interesting. So the question becomes, do we risk going down the hill? I think we risk it. No, I think this is the first time that I haven't seen the emergency kit with the full assortment of things inside it. But since we finally have a distress flare, the first thing we're going to do is load it. Because usually I forget to load the silly thing, and then horribly bad things happen to me as a result. Okay. Now we want to pick up our bedroll so we don't forget it. We're in very good condition right now, actually. Some more of this moldy peanut butter. And where did I put my MREs? Ah, there we go. I'll take 3 MREs and I'll put the moldy peanut butter back here. Not a fan of grape soda. Because there's no... I was originally planning to stay, but there's no real reason to. Because...
I wonder if I can drop any of this gear.
we found... we got the achievement, and we found better clothing, so there's no need to really stay up here and repair clothing. We're gonna risk taking a hammer. I can't remember if I grabbed the hacksaw from... I can't remember if I grabbed the hacksaw from the mountaineer's cabin. So I'm just gonna take it with me just in case. That's actually better condition than the one I have, so we'll swap that out. Unfortunately, we weren't able to find an emergency stim up here. Oh well. We'll grab some extra crackers as well. So what we're going to do is go back to the bottom of the hill. And, like, technically I could probably leave the sleeping bag up here, because I don't really need it. But, really don't want to take the chance of getting stranded on the mountain and needing to sleep and not being able to. Hello, frozen corpse. Ah, yes, more emergency shells. Sure, I'll take your emery, and I'll take the rifle round.
Okay.
2 degrees Celsius down here. And 54 degrees under our fire. Okay, now comes our part. I have to get off this mountain without destroying my clothing. So, one careful step at a time, because we gotta go over to that ledge. Oh hey! I didn't realize that you could walk right out from under the tail. Got hung up on the scenery. Okay. Now what we're going to do is meander, and yes, I am deliberately carrying an extra piece of cedar because, again, I don't know what's going to happen on the way down. So I want to have a piece of cedar and my sleeping bag, even though I really don't need them because they do weigh a lot, just in case something terrible happens, so that I have basically a way to fix it. Because unfortunately for me, and this is going to be how we go down, unfortunately for me, I don't have, I haven't been able to find any emergency stims, because normally by this point, when I was doing the challenges, I'd have 4 or 5 of them. So you could take a lot more risks, because you have a way to pull yourself out of the proverbial fire, as the saying goes. However, since I started this save before, emergency stims were implemented, because they're implemented as part of the Tireless Menace update, I don't really have an option. I just haven't been able to find one. Ooh, this is risky. So, eventually I have to start going right, but since it's getting so cloudy right now, I can't, ouch, I can't really see where I need to go, which is making my life difficult. So I'm probably, shoot, don't want to get hung up, probably came over too early. This is looking a little too early to be going right. Yep, I'm too early. Now you can see in my footprints I'm trying to follow a zigzag. And the reason I'm zigzagging is I'm over encumbered, and I don't want to... If I go straight down, the likelihood of me tripping and falling is going to be much, much higher. So you can see if I go straight down, I'm almost like running at the screen. just strikes me as a bad idea. Okay. Ah. This looks more like it. So I slowly get lost on the mountain. Basically, as long as I don't destroy my clothing, I'm okay. If I destroy my clothing, we're in a bad strait. So, if I keep going down in that direction, I will come to the cave where my wolf pelt is. But if I go in this direction, I should come basically right out on top of Crystal Lake, which is where I want to be. Because by going this way, I get to avoid the worst of the bears. And there's actually a deer carcass there if I want to harvest a deer carcass. Which is tempting, actually. How cold are we? That's actually... We're doing quite well for warmth right now. Because there's the other side of the cave, there's the engine. Oh, someone was hunting this. I'll take a broken arrow. So we can get some meat, some hides, and some guts. For an hour of work? Sure. Eee, storm blew in. By storm, I mean fog. I'm going to treat the sprained wrist. Because I don't care whether or not I can run. But we are definitely going to need to be able to climb a rope. So what we're going to do is follow this gentle slope, which we now can no longer see. Follow this gentle slope to the bottom. At the bottom of this gentle slope, there should be a nice rope. See, it may be too steep to... Maybe it's too steep to climb up this hill just by walking, but we can definitely meander. Shoot. Yeah, this is not the best situation. If I see a cave, I might just go hide inside a cave for a little while. So I remember there being a cave around here. Oh! Thought I heard something running. That looks like a cliff. So we're not going to walk off the cliff. The annoying thing is that we came down the correct way. We're within spitting distance of Crystal Lake. Like, Crystal Lake is literally around the corner here somewhere. It's just a matter of finding the way down without getting attacked. Oh, what are these? Maple? Sure. I won't always be playing a complete and total pacifist, so having a way to make both... Ah! Shoot, I should have left one of those there as a marker. Now, if we can get down here safely, Crystal Lake should be at the bottom. Ah, okay, so I'm gonna need to treat my sprained ankle. Oops. First aid. Oh, I'm out of tea, unfortunately. Now the question is this a ledge? That is a ledge. Interesting. Okay. Now if we go straight ahead, we'll hit Crystal Lake. But since we're doing so well, and we're probably going to need to light a fire. Oh, that's fortuitous.
I can barely walk with this much gear.
So basically right now we're really over encumbered, but as long as we don't come across any wildlife, we're fine. As I continue to add more stuff to our pack. So we'll crest the hill, and I don't see any wolves. Oh, I do see a birch sapling though, that's nice. Ah, good, a deer. So we're going to drop the hammer and a piece of fur into the ice fishing shack so that if we do come back to Timberwolf Mountain, we'll always be guaranteed a source of food because you can just take the hammer, bash open the hole in the ice, and go fishing. Safety, salvation, many days later. Ah. And there, unfortunately, is the wolf. Almost looks like he's limping. Okay, so I did already take everything out. Yeah, so we can use our hammer in here. So, goodbye hammer, and one piece of fur, once I find it. And actually, be a good idea to be able to light. Where's my tinder plugs? There, so now we have enough in here to light a fire in case we need to warm up, repair a hatchet, repair our hammer, and also make a brand in case we ever need to scare up a wolf. Wonder if he'll come inside. Let's find out. The wolves tend to be afraid of man-made structures. Now the question is, do we want to stay in here all night? So I think that wolf went for the deer. Yep, wolf went for the deer. That wolf is there. So if we are really, really lucky, we can get to the cabin without being seen. I'm sprinting, but it's not doing anything. Except making me really tired. Ah, sweet salvation. Made it back. We're not dead. Ah, shoot, I could have left that hacksaw at the top. Oh well. Ah, we made it back. Definitely gonna need a replacement flare. Let's start by lighting a fire. Because if nothing else, we need to cook our firewood. We need to cook our deer stick Really wish I had a whetstone right now, though. Because I'm tempted to actually go right back up the mountain and grab and start grabbing. Oh, we got lots of cedar firewood here. And start grabbing all the tools that are still up there. Oh, actually, while we're in here, time to ditch our fresh deer hide and fresh guts. Okay. We can put the wolf hide into the cured wolf pelt in here, because unfortunately there's nothing we can really do with it yet. But if we go back up the mountain... See, the big difficulty with going back up the mountain right now is we don't have a lot... Right now I don't have a lot of lantern fuel. So all those caves are going to be really hard to navigate. Put some of those torches away. And all of our bullets. Oops. And what else can we put away? Oh. Take another cup of roasted tea, I guess. Oh, that was foolish. I accidentally came all the way down the mountain with an extra pair of boots. Oops. No wonder I was over encumbered. Okay. Cook this rancid venison. Still wishing I... So usually when they do an update, they... the developers... They backseed the areas, so that if you were playing the game, you can then go back and definitely grab that whetstone. So I need that whetstone. Now, where'd that deer actually go? Where'd those wolves actually go? Okay, that wolf is over there. Because since that wolf took down a deer, I'm very tempted to go over on the shore and see if I can actually, like, find the deer. Let's take a brand and go for a walk. Because if we come across a wolf, we can just turn around and run away. Oops. No. I didn't want to drop you. Equip. Silly thing. If we're lucky, we might even be able to scare the wolf off. There should be just enough brand. Nope, he's still there and he's still feasting. And this brand is not going to last long enough to... Let's see, this brand is at 32%. It is unlikely I would still have a brand by the time I got over to where the wolf downed the deer. So we're just going to have to wait. Add to fire? Why can't I add the... Weird that I can't add the brand to the fire. Oh. Just have to shove this out here, I guess. And before I forget, let's harvest a branch. Make sure that we have enough fire to last the night. Ooh, that got dark.
I need to find a place to rest.
That looks beautiful though. Like, in a really eerie way. Safe inside. Close the door. Okay. Let's add our extra. Let's see what we can add to our storage container here. Add our extra torch, add our extra stick. Actually, I want to keep all of our tinder plugs in case something goes terribly, terribly wrong. And we're carrying a lot of matches for some reason, so let's put some of these away. Okay, so we still have a bunch of matches. We'll put our MREs in there. Huh, I already have 8 liters of water. Transfer. Okay. Get some more fire. 2.5 liters of water sounds good. I'm just trying to make sure I'm fully exhausted so I can get a good night's sleep. Because I started the fire base for the only reason was to cook the deer. So now that the deer is cooked, might as well use the most of the fire and also get some water out of it. I should be able to boil 1 more layer of water and then make a nice cup of tea and then go to sleep until morning. Yeah, because I think it only takes 10 minutes to make a cup of tea. We'll find out. We'll also find out if I remember to close the door of the cabin if a wolf comes inside. Yep, takes 10 minutes to make a cup of tea. There's the bed. So we'll drink our hot cup of herbal tea. Have a rotten soda. Wash it down with some freshly boiled water. You're not thirsty. Okay. We're a worm. Is that on the first aid screen? Oh. Weird. Because tea is supposed to give you a better sleep perk, but it's no longer showing up, unfortunately. Sleep for 8 hours. Take us into the morning. And there we go. A successful summit of Timberwolf Mountain. There were a few mishaps, but we've made it. I think what I'm going to do now is the weather's not too bad. So I'm going to poke my head out. Hopefully the wolf's moved off, so we can harvest the deer the wolf brought down. So if we can harvest that deer there, then we have enough deerskins to start making deerskin pants and deerskin boots and deerskin other things. And if the wolf is still there, then, well, that's going to be annoying, but such is life. Still an opportunity to collect sticks. Looks like the wolf also killed a rabbit. So let's quickly grab this rabbit. Nothing to harvest. Shoot. Hopefully there's still something to harvest on the deer. Because one of the things that changed is decay rates got tweaked. So things that used to take a lot longer to decay, such as carcasses, no longer take very long to decay. Which seems to have been what happened here. So if I wanted to get that deer, unfortunately I can't even get its hide now. So if I'd wanted to get that deer, I would have had to have gone after the wolf on the very first time. Oh well. Such is life. We'll go back inside, save the game, and that'll be it for this play session. And just keep collecting sticks because, why not? Free firewood. It's always good to have free firewood. Yikes, it's cold down here. Oh, at least we didn't have a wolf jump us and wreck our nice new clothing. Okay, feels like -1. So if we eat, let's eat our salty crackers. So salty crackers are actually better calorie to weight ratio than the MREs are. Which is kind of funny. So it feels like -1. We get +5 for the bed. Sleep for 2 hours. That should warm us up nicely. And then we'll call it here for the day. So, thank you very much for watching. I've been Charlie, and this has been The Long Dark. And when we get back, crafting! So, in the meantime, have a good night, and thanks you once again very much for watching.